So by this weekend, I think we'll start some. So we'll be again looking at the meninges also in the coming few classes. Meninges, overall nerves, types of cells, arrangement primarily. After that, we'll go into proper spinal cord. First spinal cord, then went to the brain. Okay, so I think you all have a basic idea of what is a nervous system. Okay, what it does exactly, what are the functions? Anybody? Functions of nervous system.
Carries senses from different parts to brain and from brain to different parts.
Sensory information to the brain, and then what is it analyzes, and then what the body has to do. That information again goes back to the target organ. Okay. So one is it is sensing the environment or whatever by touch or vision or smell, and then acting accordingly. Yeah. So even otherwise, so it is controlling the whole body, and then coordination. That is, you are seeing something, then the information goes to the brain. Then accordingly, your hands or legs will act. Okay. And then memory. So whatever happens once or twice, it registers, and then it is there as a permanent. Suppose you go to one place, and after 2 years, if you again go there, you'll have memory of the old visit, and then you'll compare what is new now, what has changed. So memory, judgment. So these are complex things. Judgment, intelligence. These are complex things. So highly evolved in human being. It is said we are only telling about ourselves, that it is highly evolved. Compared to all other animals, human is highly evolved and all these things. So we'll think like that. Okay. So this brain, so even voluntary activities and involuntary activities also, it controls through different components. So normal weight of a normal adult human being, the weight is around 1.5 kilos or 1500 grams. Okay, but it is suspended in the CSF. Okay, around it is CSF. Within the CSF, it is suspended. It will not touch the bone. It is in water, so that makes it very light. So overall, because of this CSF, the brain weighs only 50 grams. Okay, otherwise basically its weight is 1500 grams. And the number of neurons in adult brain also is many, around 200 billion neurons. Okay, so so what are the different divisions of nervous system? So that also central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. Okay, central nervous system is brain, spinal cord. Okay, peripheral nervous system means all the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Okay, so these come under peripheral nervous system. So these peripheral nervous system carry the impulses from the central nervous system to the organs. So organs can be the muscles or glands or blood vessels. So that is anatomically central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So functionally, what are the divisions of nervous system? So functionally, efferent means AFF. Efferent means towards the brain, information to the central nervous system. Efferent, EFF, efferent. So efferent means from the brain or from the CNS to the target organs. So efferent components and efferent component. So in this efferent component, you got again two things. So one is somatic. Somatic means voluntary. So to the muscles, to the joints, So efferent means axons or nerves from the CNS to the target organ. So particularly muscles or joints. So that is somatic body. And then one more component is there, which is autonomic. So autonomic is to the organs because you are not going to control voluntarily how much your liver is going to function today, how much your kidney is going to function today. Yeah, that is all under involuntary control. You are not going to decide. There is a auto mode in the body, so that is going to decide what needs more attention, what needs less attention. So that is controlled by autonomic nervous system, in which you got this sympathetic and parasympathetic, and one more similar kind of specialized tissue in the intestines. On the elementary, around the intestines, you got this. Okay. One more third one. I think you would be learning in మీకు ఫిజియాలజీలో బ్రెయిన్కి వచ్చిందా ఇంకా అంటే నర్వస్ సిస్టమ్కి వచ్చిందా టాపిక్స్?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 So now regarding the cells. So cells, cellular architecture of the nervous system means you got what are the different kind of cells. So basically neurons means the cells of the nervous system, nerve cells or neurons. Okay, they are the basic cells or basic unit of nervous system. And then neuroglial cells, neuroglia means supporting tissue which helps it in defense, which helps it in repair, all these kinds of things. Okay, so neuroglial cells. So in central nervous system they are called as neuroglial cells. In peripheral nervous system, that is on the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves, they are replaced by Schwann cells. I think you all have heard about Schwann cells. Okay, they produce the myelin on the axons of peripheral nerves. Okay, so now come to a neuron. So this also is a familiar topic for you, neuron. So every neuron will have a cell body and cell processes. So cell body means it's basic cell body. Okay, processes means these are the processes. This also is a process. Okay, so what are the processes? So dendrites. Yeah, dendrites means branch of a tree, the meaning of it. So like a tree, it branches, multiple branches, many short, richly branched. Okay, so another process is axon. So axon is a single elongated process. Okay, so one single process from the nerve cells which goes to long distances. Okay, so these axons, so in the central nervous system, that is in the spinal cord, in the brain, so many axons will lie one adjacent to one another and will travel parallelly. So they will be called as tracts, TRACT, tract. So that tracts, because they are all axons, they will appear whitish. So they are called white matter. Okay, if all neurons, that is cell bodies, will be at one place, suppose accumulation at one place, so that will be called as gray matter. Major accumulations in the CNS, they will be called as gray matter. Occasional accumulations of cell, suppose a few number of cells at one place, surrounding it is all white matter. In that small space you are looking at some gray matter, means accumulation of nuclei. So they will be given different names, but major accumulation will be called as gray matter. So in brain, that gray matter will be outside, white matter will be inside. If you open the brain, so outer side is the gray matter. As you go deeper into the brain, you'll find white matter. In the spinal cord, it is opposite. On the periphery, you'll find white matter, and the center, around the central canal of the spinal cord, you'll have gray matter. Okay, in the shape of H. So axons also will give branches. So those branches will arise at right angles to the axon. So they will be called as collateral branch. Okay, so I think even other points, each neuron will have sensitivity and conductivity. It is sensitive to any change in the environment. in the synapses. Okay, and then conduction of the change it senses. So even the conduction speed will be around 125 meters per second, very a good speed. And then there is something called as dynamic polarity. In physiology, it would have been done. Dynamic polarity means uh, the direction in which the impulse is flowing. So in dendrite, the direction of flow of impulse is towards the cell body. In the axon, it is away from the cell body, the direction of the impulse. Okay, so likewise, uh, what are the types of neurons overall? Okay, so classification of neurons. So there are different classifications. So based on the number of their processes, there is one classification. Based on the length of the axon, there is another classification. And then functional classification. Okay, and then according to the shape of the neurons and according to the size of the neurons, you got so 5 types of classifications. So out of this, some you definitely know. So according to the number of processes. So now you in the picture you are looking at, there is something called as multipolar neurons. So in humans, most of the neurons are multipolars. Okay, so you got a number of processes. Okay, so multiple processes from a neuron. Okay, so they are multipolar. So most of the neurons in human beings are multipolar. So again, then there is bipolar neurons. Okay, these are simple pictures from your textbook only. I have not taken from anywhere else. So bipolar means there will be one dendrite and one axon. So only two poles. Okay, so these bipolar neurons also will find, particularly if you just recently we have finished this eye retina. So in retina 10 layers. In those 10 layers, we have seen one layer bipolar cells. Okay, I think 7th layer. So from the inner side, from the vitreous body, if you take, it is 3rd or 4th layer bipolar cells. So bipolar cells are present in human beings, but particularly only at few places. So one is olfactory mucosa. Olfactory mucosa means the roof of the nose. Okay, and then in the slope, anterior slope and posterior slope, and little on the uppermost part of the lateral wall, olfactory mucosa. So there you got these bipolar cells, and then 8th cranial nerve, and then second. So in the first cranial nerve, second cranial nerve, and 8th cranial nerve, you got bipolar cells in their situations, in their pathway. Okay, and then another variety is pseudo unipolar. So pseudo unipolar means one process will come out. Okay, but then it will divide into two. Actually, the whole new cell body gives only one process outside, but then that will divide into two, axon and dendrite. Pseudo unipolar. Okay, so pseudo unipolar cells function like bipolar cells only. So these pseudo unipolar cells you will find in the sensory ganglia. So sensory ganglia means, if you remember when we were studying about, suppose one typical spinal nerve, it will have two roots, dorsal root, ventral root, and then both will join to form a trunk, and then the trunk will divide again to form the rami, ventral rami, dorsal rami. So there we have studied that there is a ganglia in the dorsal root ganglia. Okay, of the spinal nerves. All the spinal nerves will have dorsal root ganglia. So similarly, if you remember trigeminal ganglion, which is mainly sensory root of the trigeminal nerve, it will have a ganglion in its course, which rests on the trigeminal impression. Below that, motor root will be there. Okay, so pseudo unipolar cells are found in the dorsal nerve root ganglia and sensory ganglia of the cranial nerves. The last one is unipolar cells. Unipolar cells also will branch, but for a long distance, there will be only one pole. That is only one process for a very long distance. Later on, it can branch. But basically, close to the cell body, there is only one process coming out. So they are called as unipolar. So these unipolar cells in human beings, they are present only in the course of the trigeminal nerve. So from the trigeminal nerve going towards the brain, there is something called as mesencephalic nucleus. So in that mesencephalic nucleus, you'll have unipolar neurons. So you have to remember these examples. So mostly ours in the whole human body, most of them are multipolar, bipolar in the first, second, and eighth cranial nerve, pseudo unipolar in the nerve root ganglions, the sensory ganglions, and then only unipolar you got in the mesencephalic nucleus of trigeminal. So that was one classification. So other classification is according to the length of the axon. So according to the length of the axon, so if the length of the axon is very long, so they are called as Golgi, Golgi. Okay, Golgi apparatus, I think you. So Golgi type 1 neurons, where the axon length is good. And then where the axon length is very small, they are called as Golgi type 2. Okay. So Golgi type 1 neurons, they are seen in the cerebral cortex, particularly pyramidal cells. So we'll come across that in the tracts and even in spinal cord. So pyramidal cells of the cerebral cortex. Likewise, in cerebellum, Purkinje cells, specialized type of cells in the cerebellum, and anterior horn cells. That is, anterior horn cells means anterior part of the spinal cord is that is ventral, which is motor. So from the brain or from the spinal cord, order will come to the anterior horn cells. That order again goes to the muscles of the body. So the axon will be longer. So Golgi type 1. So Golgi type 2. So they are also seen in cerebral cortex and cerebellar at some places. So we'll come across that. Third type is hemacrine. So hemacrine cells are, there is a layer in retina. I did not mention that. Hemacrine cells or hemacrine neurons are there also in retina. So there is no axon. There is only dendrite. Okay. So normally it was thought that neurons cannot divide. So the high evolution in the function, that is, they are highly sensitive. You can analyze, you can express your feeling, your thought, you can memorize. So there are many things you invent, discover, you record. So there are many things your nervous system does, but at the cost of regeneration. So if it is once damaged, it cannot regenerate. This is thought like that. But nowadays they are finding evidence that some nerves are again able to regenerate. So particularly olfactory region and hippocampal region. In some researchers, they have found that they are able to regenerate. So probably that possibility is also there. So in the brain tissue, so neurons will not divide, will not multiply, will not regenerate. So whatever tumors are arising in the central nervous system, all those arise from the glial tissue or the supporting tissue. Okay. So now to the third, functional classification. Okay. So functional classification, you got sensory neurons, motor neurons, okay, parasympathetic, sympathetic. So these are the four types in the function according to their function. So sensory neurons. Sensory neurons, again, you've got a few types. Sensory means, suppose from the end organ, from the skin. Okay. From the skin, there is a nerve that goes to the spinal cord. Okay. So this neuron is present in the dorsal root ganglion. Dorsal means the posterior part of the spinal cord. Dorsal root means spinal nerve. In the dorsal root, there is a ganglion. So dorsal is always sensory, ventral is mostly motor. So sensory nerves from the skin, some sensation, some burn, some ice, somebody has kept on your skin, so you feel that sensation. So that information is taken back to the spinal cord, particularly where sensations are taken back to the dorsal root. So in the dorsal root, there is a ganglion. In that ganglion, there are cells. So those cells, peripheral process or the axons, they are sensing this. Okay, so those neurons will be called as first order sensory neurons. First order. So there is a ganglion. So there they will relay from there another axon will start, and that will go still upwards. So and then they will end in some nucleus or neuron. So those neurons will be called as second order neurons. Okay, so axons or that is information from the peripheral target organs to the spinal cord. First level, wherever they reach the dorsal nerve root ganglia at one level, depending on which segment of the spinal cord is supplying that area. So those neurons in the dorsal nerve root ganglion, they are the first order neurons. There the axons neurons will relay, that is synapse, with some other axons of some other neurons which are higher up. So from there those axons will go upwards. So the second order neurons, they will end in some neurons. So they will be called as second order neurons. So those second order neurons can be present within the spinal cord itself, or they will go, axons will go up to the brain stem, that is medulla or pons. So there they will relay. So in some neurons, so they are called as second order neurons. So from there again it will synapse, and then again another axon will start and go further up. So generally to the thalamus. So in the thalamus nucleus neurons, they are called as third order neurons. From thalamus again information will go to the cerebral cortex or cerebellum. So they will be called as fourth order neurons. Okay. So likewise, that was about sensory. So now come to motor neurons. So motor neurons means from the central nervous system to the target organs. So you got two types. One is upper motor neurons and another is lower motor neurons. So this also should have been done in the physiology. Okay. So upper motor neuron means from the higher centers of the brain. The neurons are starting, their axons are starting, and then they go to the either cranial nerve nuclei. So in the brain itself, you have got this cranial nerve nuclei. Even 11th cranial nerve has got even in spinal cord. So they go there and end there. Okay, or they end in the anterior horn of the spinal cord. Motor, because they're concerned with motor. So they are upper motor neurons from the brain to this nuclei. So from these nuclei downwards to the target organs, they are called as lower motor neurons. So if you remember, we have read about Bell's palsy. So supranuclear lesions, infranuclear lesions. So infranuclear lesions means lower motor neuron lesion. Supranuclear lesion means from the cranial nerve nuclei pathway which is going upwards to the higher centers of the brain. So they are supranuclear. So they are upper motor neurons. So I think you would also have covered in the physiology the types, what are the defects which can be seen in upper motor neurons and lower motor neurons. So now come to the parasympathetic. So parasympathetic, so these come under autonomic. So they have got both sympathetic and parasympathetic will have preganglionic neurons and postganglionic neurons. Okay. So preganglionic neurons in parasympathetic, they are in the cranial nerves. So particularly third cranial nerve, okay, 7th, 9th, 10th. Okay, so parasympathetic fibers or those neurons, they are present in these cranial nerves and also in sacral segment of the spinal cord. So sacrum, particularly sacral 5 vertebrae, sacral 5 nerves, so sacral 2nd, 3rd, 4th nerves. So around that region, you will have a lot of parasympathetic neurons coming out of the spinal cord. So you've got in cranial nerves, particularly 3, 7, 9, 10, and sacral. So these will be called as parasympathetic from the sacral region, craniosacral outflow. So from the cranial nerves, there is parasympathetic outflow. From the sacral nerves, there is parasympathetic outflow. So they together they are called as craniosacral outflow. So postganglionic neurons always will be close to the target organ in parasympathetic. So if you all remember oculomotor, so oculomotor will enter into the orbit. So there ciliary ganglion. So there these fibers will go into the ciliary ganglion. Then postganglionic fibers will come, but they are not long. But third cranial nerve, it is coming from brain. Edinger Westphal nucleus, from their fibers are coming. So preganglionic are longer, postganglionic very short in parasympathetic. Sympathetic, that is the opposite. So in sympathetic preganglionic fibers, so they are present in the mainly particularly thoracic and lumbar segments of the spinal cord. Okay. So particularly where T1 to L2, this whole region, you got this sympathetic outflow. So it is called as thoracolumbar outflow. So around in the spinal cord, around the thoracic region, lumbar region, you got this outflow of the sympathetic. So which is called as thoracolumbar outflow. So here the postganglionic fibers. So if you know, I think if you remember this sympathetic ganglion, cervical sympathetic ganglion, superior, middle, and inferior. So they are very close to the spinal cord. So preganglionic fibers are short, and then they enter the ganglion. From there, postganglionic fibers will start from the ganglion, and then they travel far away to the target organs. Okay. So according to shape, you got stellate, means star shaped. Okay, and basket, so like a basket. Okay, so this is stellate, the first one, star shaped, and then basket shaped. Okay, and then fusiform means this shape, and then pyramidal means like a pyramid. Okay, so 4 types: stellate, basket, fusiform, and pyramidal. According to the size, macroneuron and microneuron. So, and then we'll go to later on synapse. I think tomorrow class will go into further some little things. So tomorrow I'll finish this chapter, and then we'll go into second chapter the after tomorrow. So today I'll end here. So I think most of this you know, but simply we are going slow before we go into the proper topics. Okay, so start studying. I think